Hello students, welcome to Btech360. As you all know that the JoSAA first round counseling rank list has already come out, and you also know the cutoffs that are there. What we're doing is we're creating a series of content here, series of videos to help students understand how the rank will lead to some kind of a branch and college combination at all the NITs, IITs, IIITs and JFTs, and now we're going to cover an NIT, right? So let me explain to you exactly what's happening. We actually have the 25 data of round 1 and 26 data of round 1. We also have the 25 data of round 6 by the time the JoSAA counselling ended. When we put all these three together, we'll be able to understand what are the kind of chances that you have and what kind of leverage that you have to get onto a branch and college of your choice. And in that process, we'll cover NIT Surathkal now. Before I move further, three requests that I always have for you. Please do subscribe to Btech360 if you've not already done that. If you want me to cover any college, please write to me in the message box and I'll be happy to cover that. And I must also thank our university partner, University of York, which is setting up a campus in Mumbai, which also is offering a lot of STEM courses, and it is UGC approved, Government of India approved. So please do have a look at them if you can. Now about NIT Surathkal 2026, round 1 cruising rank is what we're talking of, right? Now we're dividing that into two things. One where the branches have become more competitive in the sense that more students are applying for that. So to that extent, the rank need that you had actually has come down. For example, you take computational and data science here. Last time the highest closing rank was 3,192. This time it's 2,945. A massive drop of 247 ranks. Now that's very serious because it means that your chance of getting into a NIT Surathkal based on what happened last year has come down a bit this time because of the kind of rank that you're looking at. And last year it ended with 3471. What started at 3192 in round 1 ended with 3471 in round 6. You actually had a leeway of about 300 ranks. So if I were to go by that, you will end up with about 3,230 or something like this year against 3471. A drop of about 250 ranks is what you're looking at. Which means this particular branch in NIT Surathkal, these, by the way, open category, JEE Main, obviously JEE Main score is what we're talking about, JEE Main rank is what we're looking at, and it's become more competitive for you to get into NIT Surathkal in computational and data science. We'll also talk of where there is lesser demand or where there is greater leeway for the student. Here it's become more competitive. These are the four ones that I'm talking of. Then electronics and communications in NIT Surathkal, last time it was 3,934, this time it's 3,645. A massive drop of 289, which means that it has become that much more difficult for you to get into NIT Surathkal electronics and communications. This is round 1 cutoff, 25 versus 26 I'm comparing. Last year it ended with 4,347. So that way, this time it will end with about 4,000 is my perception. What was 4,347, it will become 4,000. Similarly, metallurgical and materials engineering, last time it was 20,021, this time it's 19,414, a drop of 607 ranks. And it ended with 22,965. This year, in my opinion, it will end with about 22,500 or something like that. Same thing with mining engineering, 25,160 it was last year, it is 24,609 this time, a drop of 551 ranks. It ended with 28,750 last time around. So if I were to just go by that, we'll end with about 28,000 this time. So these are the four branches which have become more competitive. By the way, this what I'm talking of is outside the home state. We're not talking of the home state quota. We're only talking of the outside the home state when I talked of all this. Now outside the home state, what has become less competitive in the sense that the rank has actually shot up. So to that extent, even at a higher rank, you have a possibility of getting into NIT Surathkal for these branches. One is CSE, of course. This is last year it was 1,528. This time it's 1,605. Now this happens when you actually have some of these good IITs and NITs and all starting a new branch, and because of it 60, 100, 120 seats are created, because then students gravitate to that and then first apply there before they come down here, which seem to have happened because what is 1,528 has become 1,605 this time around. Difference of 77 ranks for CSE. The CSE should be more competitive, right? But when you actually create good capacity at a good IIT or NIT, this also happens, and this seems to happen very clearly here. So what was 1,528 has become 1,605 here, and it was 1,827 last year. So in my opinion, at 1,900 also possibly you'll get into NIT Surathkal CSE JEE Main rank. For AI, it was 2,372 last time. It is now 2,392, a 20 drop. AI has dropped lesser as compared to CSE because a lot of people are now preferring AI as a part. It ended with 2,650 last year. So this year it will be about 2,630, 2,625 possibly. For IT, 2,787 it was last year. It's now 2,874 with a drop of 87 ranks. And last year it ended with 3,160. So I can actually expect about 3,100 being the highest closing rank list. For electrics and electronics, 5,728 it was last year, 5,859 this year, a drop of 131 ranks. Last year it ended with 6872. So this year you can actually expect 6700 being the highest closing rank possibly. By the way, core has fallen much more, and I'll show you why it's happened, because as you keep creating branches at AI, CSE and those kind of things, students gravitate towards that. So you actually have seen a lot of IITs and IITs and all, even IIITs and all, creating a lot of courses on CSE, IT, AI, machine learning, data sciences and all those kind of things. When you have that, students gravitate towards that, and to that extent core suffers, and that is what seems to have happened here. Because mechanical, 10,157 last year, 11,574 this year, 1,517 is the difference, and 11,950 was it ended last year. So essentially what you can deal with is this time it will end with about 13,000 kind of number against 11,950 last year. Chemical, it was 12,286 last year, this time it's 13,529, 1,243 drop, and 13,477 is what you ended last year, and if I were to just go by that, this year you'll end with about 15,000 kind of number. Then you actually have civil, 19,255 has become 21,513, a 2,258 rank drop at NITK Surathkal. 22,901 it was last year. In my opinion, it will end up with about 25,000 this year. So these is what we're talking of branches. Now, let's earlier talked of non-home state. Now let's talk of home state. At home state level also, last time electronics and communication was 5,327. This year it's 5,148. A growth of 1,710, which means that it's become more competitive at a home state level also. And last year it ended with 5,573. So this year it will end up with about 5,400, in my opinion. Similarly, metallurgical materials, 21,243 has become 26,777, a 566 drop. And this is home state. Now, within home state, where it's become less competitive, so you actually have better chance of getting in. CSE 2726 it was last year, it's now 3184, a drop of 458. Right. This happens because of the number of people who are actually getting a certain rank in a home state. This also happens, remember that. And 2,800 it ended last year. This year, in my opinion, it will end with about 3,300 or something like that. Right. Computational and data science 4,342 has become 4,529, a drop of 187 ranks. Last year at round 6 was 4,805. So you can expect this to be about 5,100 kind of a number. Right. AI 3,438 has become 5,143, a drop of 1,705 ranks. So this is again unique to the state. Remember that. This also tells you how the state of in this particular state in Karnataka, how the students perform, because this is what seems to be happening. And 3,579 was the rank last time around. So this year you can expect about 5,300, 5,400 being the case here. Information technology 4,086 has become 5,300, 1,214 ranks drop. Right. 4,806 ended with, so you will end with a 5,300 again this time around. Electric and electronics 6,674 has become 6,760, a drop of 86. Mechanical 11,166 has become 12,656, a drop of 1,490. This year end up doing it at about 13,500 also, you will likely to get that. Chemical 15,821 has become 16,042, 221 rank drop. Civil engineering, I told you about how core is suffering. 22,534 has become 25,337, 2,803 ranks drop. And 28,252 ended last year. So this year at 31,000 also, you're likely to get into civil at NITK Surathkal for home state quota. Mining 27,975 has become 30,911, 2,936 drop. 39,455 is what you got it last time around. This year at 42,000 also, you're likely to get into that. Now let's talk of the category-wise rank of each of these branches. We only talked of open category there. Here for Btech CSE, 1827 was open category, 316 for open EWS category. JEE Main, we're talking of non-home state only, remember that. Home state we're not discussing at this point in time. OBC-NCL was 577, SC is 364, ST is 138. Btech AI 2650 open category, 318 EWS, 1017 OBC-NCL, SC is 684 category rank, 180 for ST. Btech Information Technology 3160 open category, 404 EWS, 1198 OBC-NCL, SC is 571, 292 for ST. Btech Computational and Data Science 347 open category, 415 EWS, 1452 OBC-NCL, 726 SC and ST is 267. Btech Electronics and Communications 4347 open category, 669 EWS category, OBC-NCL is 1795, 888 for SC and 459 for ST. Btech Electrical and Electronics Engineering 68724 open category, 1165 for EWS, 2498 for OBC-NCL, SC is 1573 and ST is 611. Btech Mechanical 11950 for open category, EWS 2023, 4559 for OBC-NCL, 2378 for SC and ST is 866. Btech Chemical 13477 for open, 2028 for EWS, 5623 for OBC-NCL, 3020 for SC and 1350 for ST. Btech Civil Engineering 22901 for open category, 3299 for EWS, 7577 for OBC-NCL, 3900 for SC, and ST is 859. Btech Metallurgical and Materials 22965 for open category, 3825 for EWS, 8374 for OBC-NCL, 4793 for SC, and 1809 for ST. Btech Mining Engineering 28750 for open category, 4365 for EWS, 9875 for OBC-NCL, SC is 5071, 2020 for ST category. So this is essentially what NIT Surathkal is. It very clearly shows that in certain branches which is CSE and allied, there is greater competition, right? But having said that, a few of the branches have been added at IIT. So to that extent, the ranks have fallen in this thing. But very clearly, when you look at core engineering, there seems to be a lot of suffering because about the ranks have fallen by about 10% also in most of the cases. And that continues to be the concern that most of us have here, that core engineering seems to be suffering as compared to CSE, IT and AI and all those kind of courses. But that is what students will gravitate, where there is a better student outcome, and that is something that needs to be understood. I hope this helps you. If you want me to cover anything else, please write to me in the message box here. Please do subscribe to Btech360. And I must thank University of York for partnering with us to help students take more informed career choices. Thank you so much. Namaste.